unidentified witnesses when proceedings resumed this morning. It has started. These are live visuals. Let's listen in.
I'm going to deal with the one for Frank. The order I grant in respect of Frank is the following. One, this application may be heard in camera and without notice to affected parties. Two, the witness referred to in this application and who is scheduled to testify today is to be referred to as Frank during his testimony before the Commission and thereafter insofar as matters relating to the Commission are concerned. 3, the witness identity shall not be disclosed or published in any manner. 4, the names and initials of the witness shall be redacted from all affidavits and documentation presented in evidence. Five, when the witness testifies before the Commission. 5.1, no photograph or video or other image of the witness may be taken or published or broadcast. 5.2, no person may photograph or publish any photograph or other image of any person engaged in and or responsible for the protection of the witness when he gives evidence. 5.3, the witness need not be present at the Commission's hearing venue, that is the hearing venue, when giving evidence, but he may instead give his evidence from a separate and undisclosed location, the protected witness location. 5.4, no camera will be permitted in the protected witness location. 5.5, no person other than the chairperson, members of the Commission's legal team, the Commission's safety and security advisor, those necessary to assist or protect the witness when he gives evidence, or another person specifically designated by the chairperson will be permitted to enter the protected witness location without the prior written permission of the chairperson. 5.6, the oath or affirmation. 5.6 is to be deleted. So 5.7 becomes 5.6. An audio link from the protected witness location will be provided so that the witness evidence can be heard in the Commission's hearing venue when such evidence is given. 5.7, subject to the usual rules applicable to the conduct of the Commission's proceedings. 5.8.1, members of the public, including the media, may be present in the hearing venue in such numbers as may be directed by the chairperson. 5.8.2, sound reaching the hearing venue via the audio link from the protected witness location may be broadcast, and the proceedings in the hearing venue may be filmed and broadcast. I think think the old 6 doesn't seem to be necessary, Mr. Torres.
Not necessary, Chair.
Yeah. Okay. And then the old 7 becomes 6. This order may be amended or supplemented by the chairperson at any time if, in his opinion, that is necessary to protect the witness or any person in connection with the witness evidence or to ensure fairness to any implicated person. That is the order, and that order is also granted in relation to witness referred to as Dorothy, and where in this order it says Frank, it will say Dorothy in the case of the order relating to Dorothy, and the same order is granted in relation to a witness to be referred to as
Stephen,
and where reference is made to Frank, the reference in the case of the order relating to Stephen will be a reference to Stephen. So all those orders have been granted.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, as you're aware, Dorothy is now available to begin her testimony. She is legally represented.
Yes.
And may her representative place himself on record.
Yes, please.
Chair, Advocate Vumbi Rendani. Chair, I must just note that previously I've been appearing under instruction of PG Matseka. I must just note to the Chair that there have been some change. I'm formally now on instruction from the State Attorney.
Yeah.
However, I must note that Ms. Palesa Matseka is here. She will also note appearance on behalf of Dorothy. And with that regard, she will further address the Chair.
Well, are you appearing for Dorothy?
Yes.
Because if you are appearing, you are the one who must address me on behalf of the whole team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chair, Ms. Palesa Matseka will continue to receive correspondence on behalf of Dorothy. And she will also be communicating with Chair, also with the employer of Dorothy.
With the Secretary of the Commission.
With the Secretary of the Commission, correct.
Yeah.
Myself, I will be on brief from the State Attorney, officially from today. The issue has been on the pipeline, but it has been resolved, and I can confirm that I've got instruction formally from the State Attorney.
Okay, no, that's fine. I don't know what the issue is, but I probably don't need to know. As long as you confirm you are appearing for Dorothy, you have you're being instructed by attorneys. That's fine.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay.
Chair, I know my colleague, I'm almost ambushing. Good morning again.
Good morning.
Chair,
Yes.
should I just take this opportunity to place myself on record?
Yes.
I will be representing today, obviously, my name is Lefrono Peter Adonis,
Yes.
as I appeared previously.
You have appeared.
I'm still on record for the former Minister, David Mahlobo.
Yes.
And now I also act on the instruction of the witness, pseudonym Frank.
Frank.
That's correct.
Okay. No,
So I'm
that's
appearing
fine.
on for both.
Okay. No, thank you.
Today. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I take it there is no conflict there, Mr. Pretorius. I don't know.
Chair, they will emerge. There are conflicts.
There are conflicts. Yes. I don't know. Are you aware? Are you aware? Or what is the position?
Chair, I obviously, with my ethical rules, have inquired insofar as the client is concerned and the documentary evidence that was presented to me.
Yeah.
From where I'm sitting at, Chair, but obviously I will engage with the legal team.
Yes.
We have not, in actual fact, I've confirmed this with my initial client being the former minister.
Yeah.
And at looking at the documents, as I
Yeah.
was briefed, there is no conflict from where I'm sitting at. But obviously,
Yes.
with caution, we'll thread, Chair, moving forward.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, we'll see how matters
how-
turn
how it
out.
goes,
Chair.
yeah.
I'm
Okay.
glad to hear there is no conflict,
Yes, yes. Yeah.
according to my learned friend, but when we get to the detail, it
Yeah.
may turn out differently. Hopefully not.
Yeah. Okay.
Chair, the documentation relevant to Dorothy's evidence appears in Exhibit YY12 in bundle SSA-02A.
Chair, I'm sorry to interfere.
Yes.
Chair, if I'm correct, I think Mr. Pistorius did mention the fact that the oath has already been taken.
Yes, it has been.
Yes, and my client just asked me to humbly request that she would like to address the chair before anything else.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Yes, Mr. Torres.
Dorothy, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Do you wish to say anything to the chair before you commence your evidence?
Her picture doesn't appear. We just
Yes,
see
I
her
will.
name. We just see her. Oh no, her picture is not supposed to appear. No, that's all right. I forgot that her picture is not supposed to appear. Dorothy, are you ready? I understand that you would like to address me before you start giving your evidence.
Yes,
Yes, please.
yes, I'm ready, Chair. Thank you.
Oh, please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you for allowing me. Okay. Thank you for allowing me to put my version forward and speak out against all the allegations that have, in the course of the commission, been said against me. I have, over the years, served my country with great pride and joy, never at once with any malicious or personal saving intent. Taking into account the nature of the work that I did, I have further had to compromise on my personal life because the code of conduct that we all served by was that the safety of the state and those under our care was always above our own personal lives. This led to me suffering a great deal and compromising much of what being human encompasses. As I sit here today, I can confirm that I carried out all my duties to the best of my ability, following all the rules, procedures, and observed protocols that were set in place and never serving my own personal interests. Given the nature of the sector that I work for, I would like to point out that in keeping in line with the one principle that governs our behavior, that being confidentiality, I carried out every single one of my duties on a need-to-know basis, careful to never cross lines or go beyond my scope of work, which was the doctrine that I understood from day one. Any questions asked were always only in line with gaining an understanding of what I was being tasked to do, and thus subsequently carrying out that task. It is safe to say that I was always careful not to ask for more. It is my intention in sitting here today and participating in this commission to testify to the best of my ability and work through with the commission to ensure that all questions are answered and endeavors of today are met. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Dorothy. I have already expressed the Commission's appreciation when you were taking the oath privately for your making yourself available to the Commission to assist it. We understand from what I read in the affidavits that it is not easy, but I appreciate that nevertheless you and others are making yourselves available to assist this commission. So I just want you to repeat that publicly that we appreciate that you have availed yourself to assist the Commission.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank
Mr.
you, Chair.
Pretorius, you may proceed.
Thank you. Chair, the exhibit which contains all the documents relevant to Dorothy's evidence is Exhibit YY12.
Yes.
There are a number of documents, including more than one affidavit attested to by Dorothy over a period of time.
Yeah.
With your leave, may I ask the witness to identify each relevant document when we get to it?
Yes, that's fine.
Thank you, Chair. But for the moment, may the documentation contained in Exhibit YY12 be put before you?
There are two or more affidavits by Dorothy, is that
Yes,
right?
Chair. They are all referred to in the index, which is at page 419.2.
Yes,
SSA-related.
419.2. Hang on one second. Now, to the extent that any document or affidavit is an annexure to the main affidavit, they would fall under the main affidavit as an exhibit. But to the extent that there are affidavits that are standalone, then they would need to be separate exhibits. We can admit them as and when we get to them.
Yes.
Is that fine?
That's fine, Chair. The affidavit that we will commence with is the affidavit that appears at page 12 to 26
12.
of the exhibit, but of the bundle, black number 431 to 445.
Okay, yeah, I think if you use the bundle number, the pagination of the bundle, that will make my life easier.
We use the black
431.
numbers, yes.
Yeah, 431, that's where it starts.
Yes.
Okay, you want her to identify that affidavit?
Yes, perhaps we should start there, Chair.
Yeah, let's do that so that I can admit it.
Dorothy, would you please go to page 431 of the bundle, SSA-02.
Okay, I'm there.
Is that the first page of your affidavit in that bundle?
Yes.
And if you could go, please, to page 445. Whose signature
Yes, I confirm. That's me.
is that your signature?
That's mine.
Right, and you attested to this before a commission of oaths on the 2nd of March 2021. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right. And
Yes.
as far as you're concerned, are the contents of this affidavit, to the best of your knowledge, true and correct?
Yes.
Chair, may this affidavit then be admitted?
It will be Exhibit YY 12.1.
12.1, yes,
Yeah.
Chair.
Okay. The affidavit of Dorothy that starts at page 431 will be admitted as an exhibit and will be marked as Exhibit YY 12.1.
Good. Dorothy, if you could go to page 420, please. And we're at all times referring to the numbers in the top left-hand corner of each page.
Yes.
Is it correct that on the 20th of January 2021, the Commission addressed to yourself a request for an affidavit to deal with various matters? And that is the document that appears at page 420 and following.
Yes, I agree.
And the affidavit that has just been admitted by the Chair is the affidavit that you provided to the Commission in response to that request for an affidavit. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
So what we're going to do is to go through your affidavit and at times refer back to the questions that were asked, giving rise to your answer in the affidavit. We could just do it that way, please. The questions are set out in Annexure A to the request for affidavit at page 422 to 424. Can you just confirm that, please?
I confirm. True.
All right. So if we go now to page 431, which is your affidavit, I'm not going to refer to your previous positions at the request of your legal representatives to avoid ease of identity of yourself. So if we can go, your background is, however, set out there. You have a long experience of employment within the SSA, is that correct?
Correct. Chief.
All right. We'll leave the detail in the written affidavit. But if we could go briefly to describe the system of dealing with cash, because it becomes relevant later in your testimony and in the testimony of other witnesses. There is a process that you set out in paragraph 4 that applies when cash is withdrawn from the SSA for special operations through the use of temporary advances. You set that out in paragraph 4. You see that?
Is that at para 4?
No, it's add
Or
para
3.
3, paragraph number 4 on page 432,
Okay.
add para 3.
Okay. At para 3. Okay.
If you could just briefly describe step by step, please, the various steps you set out in paragraph 4.
Okay.
You can
Cash was withdrawn from the SSA for CDSO through the temporary advance system. A TA required that the member take in the advance to compile a memorandum known as a submission, requesting the advance and motivating the use of the funds for the specified operation or project. Once the submission has been approved by the person with the delegation of authority to do so, which was dependent on the amount requested, the member would then make an application on a green TA form and hand this to the Finance Chief Directorate with the authorized submission to process the payment. The Chief Directorate of Finance would then issue a TA number to enable the member to withdraw the agreed amount of funds in the form of cash and/or electronic funds transfer. After the funds had been withdrawn and used, the member was then required to settle that advance, which required that he or she provide the Finance Directorate with the signed receipt of funds and/or invoice when services were rendered. Establishing that the funds had been utilized as contemplated in the submission, settling an
just
advance
before you
also
go on,
required that Part A...
Dorothy, before you go on, I'd like to just ask you one question. When you say in line 3 of the second part of the paragraph, which required that he/she provide the finance chief directorate with a signed receipt of the funds or an invoice when services were rendered. The receipt of the funds would be signed, would that be by the, for example, a source who received the funds? Who would sign the receipt of the funds?
It would be the service. It would vary. It would either be the service provider. It could be anybody, because when you say signed receipt, it varies. Whatever service that member was going to provide, whatever project that. So it would vary. I can't specifically say it's a source.
All right, there you go. The commission there hearing state security agency related evidence from 4 unidentified witnesses. We will go back there as soon as we can, but I've got breaking news.